and this is a class at STC, and it's an introduction to communication class. And I would like to know what you guys are interested in this congressional race. What can I do for you? What, Papa?
If I vote for you, what you can give it? Well, what you can offer to us, like war?
Well, what do you need?
Well, I don't know. Like what you can offer to us.
For Mexican? For the Mexican community?
Okay, so were you raised here, or would you be part of the DREAM Act?
Yeah, kind of. Well, wow. How can I explain it? Like, I want to vote for the Dream Act because, well, I'm a Mexican, but I want to be an American citizen because, you know, like, we need to help our people to go to college and all stuff.
Okay, so are you in the process of getting your citizenship?
Yeah, I'm in the process, but...
Okay, well, I think that you should get your citizenship and not have to wait, a long time to do it. If you go, you're a productive citizen. So why don't we make it, a shorter process so that if you're here and you've been raised here, I mean, if you go back to Mexico, where are you going back to? Okay, you're from Reynosa, but there's a lot of kids that have been raised here that when they go back, where are they going back to? They're going back to Puebla. They haven't been back there in years, so to send them home would be ridiculous. I think it just should be a lot shorter process. I think it should be a lot shorter process. And I would work because, I like you.
Thank you.
So, anybody else? Yes.
On immigration reform, will you be against it or in favor?
Oh, I'm totally in favor of immigration reforms. I think finding, illegals in a container in Houston dead because some coyote, didn't let them out or they didn't know is just absolutely a crime against humanity. So immigration, it should be easier to get work visas. It should be easier to get citizenship. I mean, people that are productive citizens, you guys are in here, I've watched you, It makes me proud when you come up here and you do something and I tell you, sometimes I'm not very nice. I know that. Hey, you should have
Not nice, it's very straightforward.
I know that. But why am I doing that? So
That's
you
how it's
can
going to be in the
learn.
real world.
So I want you to learn and I want you to do better. So, you can face me, on Facebook and say, I'm doing this, this, and this, and I use some of the things you taught me. And I'm like, I cry, because I think it's so exciting. So yes, I'm for immigration reform.
Do for us, choose rules, as well as culturize the school system.
A lot of that has to do with the state, okay? A lot of that has to do with state, and I think that, because we do get federal funding. People have to have federal funding, but what happens is the federal government puts strings attached to everything. And each state is different, and each region is different. So if you can get the federal people to back off with what they expect and try to list and control everything, I think the states would have a better way and a job of doing what is necessary for different regions in the state. Sometimes when I went to school, you couldn't speak Spanish in the school. Okay, kids were penalized for speaking Spanish. And now it's with the bilingual program, and sometimes with the bilingual program, you don't speak good Spanish, you don't speak good English. Not that the bilingual program's bad, it just has to be implemented differently. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes. And what do you think about the whole, they're trying to cut out Spanish speaking in schools? They're trying to cut off the Spanish and starting to introduce French, German, other cultural languages.
I think we need to learn English first. Yeah. I think we need to learn English first, seriously. And there's a lot of, Anglo kids and stuff that can't speak English. So I think we really need to concentrate on getting back to basics. Sentence structure, what makes a good sentence.
Because of this valley has its own language.
Yeah.
And you're from it, okay?
Yes.
And Margaret's from Indonesia.
I'm
Okay,
from
Margaret.
Indonesia, but
She's from Indonesia, yeah.
let me
So
cut you a little bit. I'm from Indonesia and I love this class because we are like me from Indonesia and we have a friend from Albania, but you never see any like racism here. We are united and we're fun, we get along each other. And Mrs. Cross never like, oh, you are Indonesian, oh, you are Anglo, you are a Mexican. No, we're all the same. Even like because of me and Ivan, we have sexy accent just like Mrs. Crossing. Like here, this is like my friend said, this is a class that I always want to go. Sometimes I miss it, but yeah. But yeah, but I like it. But yeah, maybe because of Valley has its own language and they mix Spanish and English at the same time. Sometimes I wonder what.
Spanish.
Tex-Mex.
That's
It's a
what
big
it is,
cultural
Spanish.
mix. Like, it's a big. It's not even just Tex-Mex so much as it's Valley mix. Like I've been to other places of Texas where they speak Tex-Mex and they speak it nothing like they speak it here.
Now, the Valley is different, and I'm going to pose a question to y'all, okay? I'm going to pose a question to y'all. My district goes up almost past San Antonio, and there's a lot of white people up there. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
A lot of white people up there, and what can I do as a congressman to unite that district up there to this district down here? How as a congressman can I help both places?
Work ethic. I think we can show them that people down here are just as hardworking and just as knowledgeable and skillful as they are. I think they could probably bridge a gap between us.
Yeah.
That's
That's
the first
really
thing.
good.
That's the first thing I think of is because when I speak to white people, the only reason sometimes I feel the only reason that they think I have any sort of work ethic or that I have any sort of knowledge or tenacity about me is because I come off as white, even though my last name's gone through. But I don't tell them that; they just assume I'm white. But I think if we can show them that people down here are just as capable and sometimes even more capable than they are, I think it would really bridge the gap between us because we're just as hardworking. I've seen people out there, working just as hard jobs as any people up there, and we're on the same level at this point.
Well, I was up in it's Carn City, and there were people working in a store, and they were Hispanic, and so I spoke to them in Spanish, and they were just absolutely blown away that I could speak Spanish. What's this white girl doing speaking Spanish? And then you guys get to see me on what? Univision?
It's not some voiceover or some
No, it wasn't a voiceover. It wasn't a voiceover.
15 seconds of fame right there.
Yeah, that was my 15 seconds of fame. Manny, you were going to say something.
I was also gonna say this, that I'm not being racist or anything, but my brother, my two brothers, they're trying to go to college, but they don't get no financial aid. But yet, other people from Mexico that come over that have no papers, they come over and they get financial aid. What would you do about that?
Yeah.
What?
I know that.
But sometimes that people that come from Mexico, for example, come and I get financial aid, but I use it for my own, how can I explain, for good things, so come to college, and not all the people are bad, that's what I see, for example, my cousin has to go to California over there, and they don't get financial aid, and he just wants to study, he wants to be a better person in life, and they don't help us,
Yeah, the thing, my brother, he really wants to study for, computer science, but he can't because he doesn't have no financial aid or anything. So he's like, I pay taxes, and they just come over, and yet they get financial
So
aid.
he's angry.
Yeah, he's angry because he doesn't get any financial aid, and he's like, I'm a U.S. citizen, I'm here, I was born here, I pay taxes, I pay everything, but yet I get no financial aid.
Does he make too much money, or do your parents?
Supposedly he makes too much money, but all of that, at the end of the day, he doesn't have anything for himself. All of it goes in payments, all of it goes into his, to his insurance.
Yeah.
And all that, and at the end he's left with nothing, and yet they expect him to have all these, so much money for he can pay for his classes, but in reality he doesn't.
Yes.
It might sound cumbersome, but just off the top of my head, would there be a system you could make where, if someone makes a certain amount of money, then I think it'd be up to the government to make them prove that we have money left over to spend on college, not just say, oh, you make X amount of thing, okay, automatically you have too much money. Because the government really should look into the lifestyle of each person to make sure that they actually have money left over and they're not just making assumptions.
So make an individual thing
Like
instead of having
inquiries and
a
stuff.
personal thing, instead of running your name through a computer and saying, oh, you're 2 pennies over, and then you get screwed.
Yeah, maybe have a thing where you prove that, maybe tell the people who are applying for financial aid to maybe hold on to receipts. I know that sounds cumbersome a lot because that'd be a lot of financial work to go through.
Slow down, slow
Sorry.
down.
It'd be a lot of financial like numbers to crunch, but I think if we could get a system to where we can prove where each each amount of X check goes into so
Like
much
sending in a resume.
kind of but
Okay.
it's like budgeting.
Like sending in a resume that I pay this much for this, I pay this
Here's
much
my
for
proof,
this,
here's my proof,
and here's
here's my
my proof, and I still want to go to college, and here I'm a productive citizen, and I still want to go to college, and I need help. Like, with,
I think that would bridge the gap of both people.
You know, that's a pretty good idea.
I mean, to me, that would bridge the gap of people who are here and possibly make too much money and can't go, and also keeping
Because making too much money,
there's
that's,
no such thing.
well, not only
Not-
that, but it's not only that, it's relative,
Yeah.
okay? And I mean, I think your brothers should go to college.
Yeah, and well, he is coming to college, but it's because he saved money. He had to stop doing things in order for him to raise enough money to come to college, and well, that's the problem. Like the only reason I got financial aid was because he was coming to college, and I don't think it was fair just because he's coming to college, I get to get financial aid. I'm the only one that has gotten financial aid in my family, and I want to see if he can do like what they can do or you can do in order for him to get financial aid, because I don't think that's fair. And yet there's other people that drive Cadillacs, Jaguars.
So we need to revamp the system.
Yes.
Like I know Paco doesn't, you don't grow with Cadillac, do you? Okay. Jaguar?
No.
No, okay. But I mean, and then there's Paco who wants to make something of himself. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you can't deny him.
No.
But we need to revamp the system. We
No,
need to
just,
revamp.
just to prove it that you want to go to school, because a lot of people just come to school and, for example, I have a GPS like 3 something, and a lot of people have a GPS like 1, and you just come and gather financial aid and then drop all the classes and
And
Like you mentioned at the beginning,
Yeah.
so many people just, especially with STC,
Yeah.
like you'll see it, like if anyone from out of state wants to come and see us, just spend 3 weeks here and you'll see how many people actually want to come here, because you'll see the parking lot clear up within 3 weeks. Like it'll be a third of what it is originally.
They get
They get their financial aid,
They
like
get
the
their
day
financial aid.
that you can actually ask them what day they're getting the money, and you can tell the very next day who's actually here for college and who's not.
I think that's very sad. And then they have the big screen TV, and then they have this and this and this. Okay, Manny, that's great. And I think having an accountable system would probably be good. So what do you do with the people that get the financial aid? What do you do with the people that get the financial aid and then don't pay it back? And all of a sudden they have the big screen TVs, and they go out and buy, the tennis shoes, and what else do everybody buy? Oh, the smartphones, huh?
Larger penalties, maybe a system to where it has to stay in a card and that way you can't withdraw the money. Because I think that's if there's one thing I've noticed, is as soon as the money comes in, there's always a huge line at the ATM of everyone just withdrawing it, and then you never hear from them again. It's like the first day of it, there's a line wrapping around the building. Don't let them withdraw. Make it so where it has to be on there, and then tracking a credit card is the easiest thing in the world.
And only use it for school-related items.
Kind of like the way they do with food stamps, where you can't buy certain items with it. You can
Yeah,
only
they don't
buy-
do that anymore. You can buy beer, you can buy whatever condoms, you can buy.
But I mean, employ that instead of employing that for food stamps. Maybe move it over to College Fund, where it would actually be applicable, where you have to buy scholastic things.
Yeah.
Huh? What, do you have anything to say?
No, I was like, I didn't know you can buy beer with food.
Like a good idea?
No, I thought it was like, that's crazy.